NFL Primetime. We bridge the generation gap. Next. Again, everybody, welcome to NFL Primetime. I'm Chris Berman. Kind of a wild Week 10 in some places and in some other parts. No matter how things change, they remain the same. And it's kind of the same on this show as well because we have my buds. Proud to be your bud. I'm sorry. That would come out sooner or later. Tom Jackson, Robin Roberts, Week 10. Let's go get him. First, let's get you caught up on all the late games around the NFL. There are 3 late ones. All of them are now a final. Don Shula does not get win number 325. He's still tied with the Papa Bear. The Jets beat the Dolphins for the second time this year. The Jets, impressively, 27-10 at the Meadowlands. Highlights a little bit later on. Kevin Butler, maybe we'll be calling for room service the next time because he missed 2 field goals in the fourth quarter, the last from 30 yards with just a second to go. So the Raiders hold on to defeat the Bears at Soldier Field, 16-14. Joe Bugle watches on, but guess what? So far, so good. Bugle wins today over the Eagles, who have lost their 4th straight. The Cards 16 and Philadelphia 3. Always an exciting time here at ESPN because the second half of the season, we get to show you football. Sunday Night Football, first of 9 games, not including the Pro Bowl, which we all enjoy. Our game tonight from RFK, the Indianapolis Colts and the Washington Redskins. Mike Patrick and Joe Theismann will have the call. Here's their preview. Guys?
Thank you, Chris. We're in the nation's capital for the season premiere of ESPN's Sunday Night NFL. It's the Indianapolis Colts against the Washington Redskins. Hello, everybody. I'm Mike Patrick. One of the most unusual stories in the National Football League this year is the Washington Redskins. Their record of 1-6. There are 2 major reasons for it. The first, devastating injuries. Only 7 players have been able to start every game. The other, big pass plays. Not enough for them, and too many against them. From 20 to 30 yards, the Redskins have only made 9 of those plays and allowed 10. In the 30 to 40-yard range, their opponents have completed 4 plays, the Skins 2. 40 to 50, 3 for the opposition, none for the Redskins, and pass plays over 50, 6 against, and none for. Joe Theismann joins me now. And Joe, big plays were what the Redskins had in their mind when they traded up in the draft 2 years ago to get Desmond Howard, the Heisman winner out of Michigan. He's been here a year and a half. Still hasn't produced any big plays.
Well, Michael, he has been here a year and a half, but when you talk to Coach Pettibone, it's really like it's just his rookie season. Missed most of last year, was only relegated to the special teams. Here's a guy coming out of college who had a wealth of talent and used that talent to get open. Now at the professional level, he's got to use more than his talent. Matter of fact, he's got to learn to win pass routes within the first 10 yards. Go back to last week's game against the Buffalo Bills, for example. You see him circled up top to the left. Mark Rippon is going to take a 3-step drop. Now, that should be a 5-yard route, but Desmond breaks this off at 4 yards. That means that Nate Odom sees him. Instead of taking that flat angle, he takes the angle upfield a little bit, which allows Odom to break on the ball, make the interception. When you look up in the books, you're going to see Mark Rippon as the guy who has the interception, but really, that interception should go to the receiver.
Well, the Redskins are certainly going to need big plays out of Desmond Howard and everyone else tonight if they hope to break this 6-game losing streak. It comes up at 8 o'clock Eastern. The Colts and the Redskins. Right now, let's go back to Chris.
All right, guys, thank you very much, and hopefully you'll stick around. That game coming up in less than an hour from RFK. We've got plenty to show you from Week 10 if you stick around for this hour. Coming up, the showdown in the NFC East between the Cowboys and the Giants, both winning 5-2. Who would keep their hands straight? And would this be the day for Daddy Dolphin to be #1? Stay with us.
Announcing the biggest advance in Quaker State history. Quaker State's new advanced high-tech formula motor oil. Superior protection against wear. Superior protection against heat and stress. Superior cleaning power. New advanced Quaker State motor oil. It's formulated for today's high-tech engines. And now, announcing the biggest rebate in Quaker State history. Get a $4.20 cashback rebate to try new advanced high-tech formula Quaker State.
Of the original.
I lost my shoes, I broke my arm, and my socks didn't match. I was as sorry as your average chicken sandwich. And then I tried McDonald's new McGrill Chicken Extra Value Meal. A marinated chicken breast with Monterey Jack, sweet red onions, and tangy herb dressing on a bakery roll, plus fries and a Coke. Well, my arm got better, my socks both matched, and I just found a Rembrandt in my garage.
Coincidence? We don't think so. Try the new McGrill Chicken Sandwich Extra Value Meal. Further proof that what you want is what you get at McDonald's today.
NFL Prime Time is brought to you by McDonald's. What you want is what you get at McDonald's today. And by Levi's loose-fitting jeans.
Welcome back to NFL Prime Time. It was a battle of David and Goliath here because the Buffalo Bills once again have that Super Bowl look in the AFC. They're 6-1 going in against the New England Patriots who had won only once. But one thing for sure over the years, the Bills always struggle at New England. As a matter of fact, they lost 8 of their last 11 at Foxborough. Going into today, could New England pull the major upset? Well, Bill Parcells and company, they played the Bills tough for 3 quarters opening week before the final score got large. And the Patriots tried to take a lead, but Scott Sisson, the youngster who's been on again, off again, was off again. The field goal, 28 yards. Parcells, well, I think he might have a word with the young kicker. You think so? Yeah. Woes continue for the Pats because Bruce Smith playing as well as he ever has. Going up against Scott, won't you let me take you on a Seacules? And he takes him on one right there. More bad time for Seacules. Chase into the pocket of Tommy. When Cornelius Bennett's got Seacules, who's faster?
I'll take Bennett.
Pittsburgh fans, that's who they want to see anyway. And the Bills, did they want to see him? Well, judged by Mark Maddox. Boom! Oh, Tommy, watch it.
Yeah, you watch here on the replay, you talk about the toughness of Bledsoe. He had to be tough to get up from this one. Ouch.
He did not miss a play. Bledsoe came back in the third quarter on the bootleg 15 yards before Darby knocks him out at the 5-yard line.
This is a favorite of quarterbacks once they get into plus territory. This was probably called by Bledsoe as a sweep. He just kept the ball on his own.
And that will set up a play for the workhorse, Derek Russell. Good-looking running back who had 95 yards today. Tough yards on 25 carries. A touchdown, 7-0 P-Man. Patriots lead 10-0, 10 minutes to go in the game. Marv Levy's team rolling up the yards, but no points. Then Jim Kelly, the Thurman Thomas, over the middle for 16 yards. That sets up Kelly to Pete Metzelaars. Touchdown to the tight end. 8 minutes to go. The Patriots lead it, but now just 10-7. Bills get the ball deep in their own 13, 104 to go. A couple of plays, and they're up to the 30. And then, there it is. Russell Copeland, the rookie wide receiver. It's a 55-yard game with just 30 seconds to go. That sets up Steve Christie from 26 yards. It's good, and we're going to overtime. Patriots win the toss, don't go anywhere. The Bills go somewhere, then they fumble. Patriots have it again. They don't go anywhere. Now it's the Bills' second possession. Andre Reed beats Renee Thompson for 46 yards. Every time opponents have got inside the 20, the Patriots give up points. Would this be the time they'd stop them? Well, Steve Christie for the winner, and lightning striking again for Christie. It's good. The Bills, shut out for 50 minutes, go on to beat the Patriots 13-10. The Patriots were so game. It's the 5th game they've lost this year by 3 or less, the 2nd in overtime. But for Buffalo, they up their mark to 7-1 and dodge a bullet between Monday night games from Washington and next Monday night at Pittsburgh. And for the Patriots, like we said, they were game, Tommy, but not quite. I mean, they now know that when they're up, they can play with some of the good teams in the right situation. For Buffalo, though, it seemed like they pressed the button, didn't they, when it was late?
Well, I think on occasion the Buffalo Bills show us how good they are as a football team. Today, as Chris said, for 50 minutes, they kind of drug along with the New England Patriots, and then they upped the tempo the last 10 minutes of the game. The key play, Jim Kelly looking off the defense and then going for the big 55-yard game to get them into overtime.
I mean, the Bills have now played half of their season. They've given up less than 100 points, just 97 points. Their defense better than it has been at this stage for any of these teams under Marv Levy from 88 on. They're doing much better in the points against department. When we return, Denver going up against the Cleveland Browns. And quit smiling, just because you know it's always the same, don't you? Even if it's in Cleveland, we'll show you what happened. Would the Broncos roll on the Rivers?
Right now, you can make a decision that can save your company hundreds of hours and thousands of dollars.
More and small businesses already have. It's the corporate card from American Express. It says you do things professionally right from the start. Use it for all your business expenses, like your company's gas and auto repairs. We'll report them by category so they're easy to track. And we'll even provide records of charges to make tax time easier.
And it's so easy to apply. Call 1-800-SUCCESS. Just answer some quick questions and they'll start processing your application immediately.
As your company grows, every card member can share benefits like accident disability insurance, savings on hotels and car leasing.
Now, just say you want the corporate card.
That's 1-800-SUCCESS, the corporate card to your success.
Senseless. Knock yourself senseless. Knock yourself senseless. Or you could watch.
Getting set for Sunday Night Football on ESPN. Mark Rippon hopes this is the start of a Redskin turnaround as he warms up to face the Colts. Welcome back to NFL Primetime. Pittsburgh Steelers, I mean, 2 weeks ago they lost again. They feel they should have won in Cleveland. They had 2 weeks to stew over this, and then they go up against the winless Bengal team. Could they get excited about it after 2 weeks off? What do you think,
Yeah,
Rob?
the Bengals also coming off a bye week. Back in week 3. Yeah, you could say that. Remember back in week 3, the Steelers routed the Bengals for what was their first win of the season, and the 5th straight time the Steelers had beaten Cincinnati. And one of the reasons why Cincinnati went into this game winless, they had allowed exactly twice as many points as they had scored this season. That's a tough way to win. David Shula, long way to go if he's going to catch his dad in the win column in the second quarter. 3-0 Bengals already. Neil O'Donnell goes back. He's picked off by Darrell Williams, and you know what he's going to do? Go ahead, Boomer. Go ahead. What's he going to do?
He could go all the...
They're 97 yards, 9-0 Bengals.
Yeah, that's a great job here. Darrell Williams making a read on O'Donnell's eyes. Did never look at the receiver. He's the best athlete on that Bengals defense.
Yeah, not a bad player at all. Next drive for Pittsburgh, O'Donnell fumbles the snap. Fernandez Vincent recovers. Bengals make the Steelers pay for it. Jay Schrader rolls out, finds Jeff Query for the touchdown. 16-0 Bengals, their biggest lead of the year. Bill Cowher wants his team to, come on guys, turn it up, and they do. Bill O'Donnell finds Eric Green, and the big fella breaks tackles. How are you going to bring that guy down? 71 yards, the Bengals lead cut to 9, TJ.
Good job of Neil O'Donnell finding Green in the middle of the defense, and a very large individual, a nightmare for any defensive back in this league.
That's putting it mildly. The Steelers would score another touchdown. O'Donnell connected with Merrill Hodge, and late in the third, still 16-14. O'Donnell finds Ernie Mills for 23 yards for the first down. The quarter ends, so we go the other way, and that would set up Barry Foster. The 1-yard plunge. Steelers take the lead, 21-16, and David Shula must be thinking, what do we have to do to win? Later in the fourth, Barry Foster takes over. He goes left for 11 yards. He goes right for 8 more. The Steelers hold the ball on this drive for 7.5 minutes, 25 carries, 120 yards for Mr. Foster. The Steelers win 24-16. A little action after the game. Rod Woodson has some words with David Shula, and then Woodson has more than words for some Bengals. Steelers win, though, 24-16. Barry Foster with the 17th 100-yard rushing game of his career. And go back and tell David Shula, you think that's what he's doing, TJ? Just telling him, just send a little note. Well, it was Barry Foster, his 4th straight C-note against the Bengals. Eric Green, 3 catches, 91 yards. The Steelers have won 5 of 6. The Bengals remain the only winless team in the NFL, the 3rd time in franchise history that they're off to an 0-8 start.
Third time. Yeah, but they do play at New England, December the 12th.
You're always looking at the schedule.
Yeah, do it at New England. That could be a classic. A classic.
Could be.
And we also have the Bengals on ESPN against the 49ers. That'll be a good game. The Broncos and the Cleveland Browns. Well, no matter how you slice it, AFC Championship game, regular season, the drive, the fumble, the blowout, January, November, September, rain, snow, dark of night. Whenever Denver plays Cleveland, the result is always the same. Don't ask me why, but here it is. Maybe it's because Cleveland looks like Mile High Stadium to the Broncos. I don't know. Any stadium over 75,000, maybe that's the way it looks. Well, today, for the Denver Broncos on 3rd and 17, they made Cleveland look like Mile High. When Elway threw to Mile High, 3rd and 17, Elway finds Vance Johnson, 56-yard gain. Broncos stay in the air. Elway rolls out, and finds the youngster from his alma mater, Glenn Milburn from Stanford, touchdown, 7-0 Denver.
And Milburn does a great job here, going inside, pushing off of Clay Matthews. Clay tries to get back to him. Elway finds him right at the edge of the sideline in the end zone.
After Rivers blocks a punt to make it 9-0 Denver, 3rd and 2. Elway, 33 yards to Derek Russell. It's a touchdown. 16-0 Broncos. Elway threw for 244 and 3 TDs today. Art Modell has seen this before against the Broncos. He's also seen Bernie Kosar have trouble, and then actually has a little time, but then Carl Mecklenburg, the veteran, ropes him. And the Natalie-clad Wade Phillips' team has done a good job in the second quarter. Meanwhile, all year long. Meanwhile, Bill Belichick was hoping for the orange badge of courage. That look, hopefully he would come through today. But in the second half, Kosar to Michael Jackson, bobbling 22-yard grab. 2 plays later, Kosar, isn't this a thriller? To Michael Jackson. Nice catch, touchdown, Browns with a 9-16-7.
Yeah, Charlie Demery here defending the inside. You get the nice route to the corner by Michael Jackson. Demery doesn't get his head around to the football. Results in 6.
But on Denver's next possession, could Cleveland press him on defense? No. 3rd and 8, Elway to Vance Johnson for a first down. Same drive, 3rd and 11. Elway to the tight end, Shannon Sharp. Dell Spear misses it, 29-7. Sharp flexes his muscle to the Dogs. And then Bernie Kosar, you know you're going to find him cuckoo-cachoo, Jeff Robinson.
Yes, you're seeing the problems that he's having all year here. The offensive line, not a great offensive line when it comes to pass blocking. And Bernie Kosar, not the most mobile quarterback in the NFL.
6 sacks by the Broncos against Kosar. Mecklenburg involved in a couple of them. Here are the numbers. Denver beats Cleveland 29-14. They've won 14 of their last 16 against the Browns. Elway 9-2 lifetime against Cleveland. Denver's even won 7 of the last 8 at Cleveland. It always comes out the same. And the Broncos now 2 big wins in a row. The Broncos up their mark to 5-3, and Cleveland falls back to 5-3. Seahawks at the Oilers. Could the Oilers, after falling to 1-4, get back in the race? Well, they had won a couple against New England and Cincinnati. Now they had the Seahawks, and Warren Moon looked good very early on, even though some empty seats in Love You Blue Land. Moon to Ernest Gibbons from Louisville. Stopped out of the 1-yard line, and then after a Seahawks sack, Webster Slaughter, single coverage, nice dart by Moon, and the Oilers lead it 7-0, and Webster does the dance. In the first quarter, the Seahawks come right back. Rick, no time to wallow in the mire. Finds Kelvin Martin. He does the dance in the end zone. 53-yard, boom, and we're tied at 7, Tommy.
Yeah, Steve Jackson here defending, tries to get his head back. Kelvin Martin does a great job of running right through the interference call, pushing him past the football. A subtle push right there, makes the catch for the touchdown.
But here's the problem for the Seahawks. They got caught up in the first half in a scoring game, and Houston's going to win a lot of that. Moon to Webster. Slaughter makes the move, and he rumbles for 35 yards, which sets up 2nd and 6. Moon to Gibbons, 14 yards, corner of the end zone. They missed the extra point, but it's 13-7 Oilers. First quarter for the Oilers, they were dancing. 152 yards in total, 128 of them passing. Warren Moon was sharp. With the score 19-7 Oilers in the second. Rick Meyer throws into coverage, and Chris Ditchman picks it off as Seattle was driving. 12th pick against Meyer. Most have come in the last 3 or 4 weeks. And a 2-minute drill for Warren Moon as Meyer takes a seat. Moon throwing off into all his guys. Curtis Duncan caught 5 today. And he finds Webster Slaughter. Slaughter caught 9 for $135 today. And to Slaughter across the middle. That sets up a field goal by Al Del Greco, 22-7. Moon at the half. It's a game stat, 23 of 36 for 262. Buddy Ryan's defense, well, they know they can pass rush when they got a big lead. And Meyer tries to throw it lefty. That's alert, but they call the safety. And now it's 24-7. Seahawks have scored, make it 24-14. William Fuller Rushman with the sack. Finally a Pardee in Houston, as Jack's Oilers have now evened it at 4-4, and they got Cincinnati next. The Oilers win it by 10 over the Seahawks, 24-14. Slaughter 9, Gibbons 8, Jeffrey 7, Duncan 5 receptions today. And so first time, let's go on to Warren Moon's performance. Look, the Oilers may or may not make the playoffs, but it doesn't look like Warren Moon is. it's not going to be because of Warren Moon's lack of excellent play.
Yeah, well, certainly Warren Moon struggled the first month and a half of the football season, but today you saw all the tools. He threw the ball to Slaughter and Duncan and Gibbons. He spread it around, and he did a great job of escaping the pocket and using the time when he had it to settle in the pocket. He didn't have the nervous feet. I think for those of us who know Warren Moon, and Chris and I do fairly well, he plays more like a guy 30 years old than a guy 37, stays in great shape. That's going to benefit the Houston Oilers down the stretch.
Quickly, Tommy, Denver in Cleveland, they moved the ball, and it wasn't only Elway, was it?
We read some things off the wires today, and the Cleveland Browns said another performance by John Elway that beats us. But I think when you look at the running stats where the Broncos amassed over 150 yards of a rushing offense, that was the key to the victory today.
Yeah, they didn't really run up the middle, but off tackle, they really had their way left.
Not where Michael Dean, Perry, and Jerry Ball are.
Yeah, but where everyone else was not.
That's
a good
right.
game for Denver, and what a season John Elway is having thus far as we go inside the numbers. Last year, remember, he missed some with injuries, so he played the 12 games. Elway had 10 touchdowns and 17 picks. This year, you see the number going down to the right? In only 8 games, 15 TDs, which leads the NFL. His career high is 22. Only 5 interceptions. A good start for Elway, and the Broncos are right back in the thick of things. And so are some other teams in the AFC West, like the Lightning Bolts.
I say this to many people. What we do, the job we do,
Okay, guys, listen up.
is the most important job I can think of.
You've got a flight control check. Lewis and Randolph.
I mean, there's no such thing as a B-plus mechanic on this airline.
Let's do it. Let's go.
Everybody knows their job. Everybody's responsible. Anybody, right down to the most junior mechanic, can keep an airplane in this hangar if there's the slightest hint of a problem. A job like this, day in, day out, it'd become routine. You know, just turning wrenches. But every now and then, I just go up and take a walk through the terminal. And right there, right in front of you, you see what's important.
Precious than gold, they make wine.
With 3 hours of breathtaking picture and sound on a single tape, and instant playback at the touch of a button, nothing portrays the moments that color our lives like a Sony Handycam camcorder. It's your life. Isn't it worth a Sony?
Watch as an NFL player provides a glimpse of his life inside. Presented by Sony Handycam.
This is Will Wolford of the Indianapolis Colts. Just finished practice on Friday, the off week. Pretty tired. I feel like heading home. And home is Louisville, Kentucky.
Say hi, Dad. We're going to Louisville, Dad.
There's our first baby, the amazing Jim Dodd. Beautiful Churchill Downs in the morning. Twin spires and everything. 4 fillies and a gelding. People ask me what I did with my signing bonus after the big contract. Well, here's a big chunk of it. First time I've ever seen her. Yeah, you don't want to eat me. There goes in the trenches again. She picks up the pace a little bit. Just a little workout. It's called jogging. Nice camera. This camera's pretty nice. Oh, yeah. Got some zoom power. Here's my shoot feeding our baby Grace. Usually I do it, but, you know, today I had the camera and everything.
Tune in next week when another NFL star shows us his life inside.
Back at NFL primetime, I guess the magic number for the San Diego Chargers is 4. I mean, they're totally mellow until they lose 4 games, but then they're stoked. Last year, remember, they were 0-4, then they rolled to an 11-5 record and won the AFC West. This year, they got to 2-4. Last week, they beat the Raiders, and suddenly today at Minnesota, again, they're Eric Coryell. For Minnesota, they had a grounded Jimmy Mack. Mack was not in the attack today for Dennis Green and company. He was on the sidelines in civvies, which meant Sean Salisbury Steak got the nod for Minnesota. John Deep Freeze playing well last week against the Raiders, looked good here. And, of course, Anthony Miller makes you look real good. 24 yards, same drive. Freeze, the dart to Nate Lewis, makes a good sliding catch for 20 yards. Then they get down to the 3. They give it to the big fellow, Marion Butts. He's in 7-0 Chargers. Second quarter, the Vikes trying to get their running game going. They got a battering ram of their own named Barry, never a discouraging word, but he is battered by the Chargers, and then on 4th and inches, Leslie O'Neal stops him shy of the first down, Tom.
Yeah, a case of too much penetration here by Leslie O'Neal. Barry Word never really got a chance to get momentum going toward the line of scrimmage.
Only 10 yards rushing for Dennis Green's Vikes in the first half. Scored 10-3 Chargers in the third, their opening drive of the third quarter. Freeze will throw the quick slant to Anthony Miller, and guess what? He's gone. He could go the way. He does. 66 yards. Miller 7 for over 140 on the day. And the Chargers find the Vikes in trouble.
Yeah, the Vikings here rushed 7 men, left Carl Lee all alone on Anthony Miller, and once you miss that tackle, nobody on that field is going to catch him.
The PAT was missed, 16-3 Chargers, but here come the Vikings. Sean Salisbury to Anthony Carter for 9, and the Chargers lead down to 16-10. Carter, a huge day from Salisbury, 10 catches for $164, like his glory days. Now, late third quarter, 3rd and 3 for the Vikes, and Salisbury puts it up to Chris Carter, but Sean Van Horst is flagged for pass interference. Third 2 plays later into the Vikings. Lead at 17-6. Van Horst hoping for a chance to gallop later in the game, and he does. Salisbury lobbing. Van Horst. A Van Horst is a Van Horst, of course. He makes the pick, and that would lead to a 7-yard run by Natron Refried Means. 23-17 for the Chargers. Means, first back to gain a Cino boom against the Vikings all year. With the score 30-17, you watched Poltergeist defense. Salisbury, stripped of the ball, Leslie O'Neal, rumbling, bumbling, kicking, stumbling, scooping, flipping to Junior Seau. Where's somebody else? Well, I don't get it, but I think you get the picture. O'Neal, Seau, big games, Chargers, back to the 500 mark. Oh, that AFC West getting interesting as the Chargers beat the Vikes 30-17, who, after being the top-ranked defense in football, give up 30 points in each of their last 2 games. As for the Chargers, Tommy, this was a team that just used to kick field goals for the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season. What's going on here?
Chris, if those Chargers ever get off to a fast start. You know, I think you can never say that after 2 games a team is back in stride, but I think the Chargers have certainly hit their stride in terms of scoring points, 60 points the last couple of weeks. John Freeze playing well, finding Anthony Miller, and you've got Means now putting up 105 yards today. But I think that the telling thing defensively for the Chargers, you watch that last play by O'Neal lateraling the ball to Junior Seau. It means that the defense is having fun. They're relaxed again the way they were last year, the second half of the season.
He was looking for a DB. He went from a lineman to a linebacker to a DB. Where is he? Only can find the umpire. He figured he'd hold on to the ball. We go inside the numbers. Oh, those San Diego Chargers, first 6 games of the year, the team combines that they get only 6 touchdowns. You explain it. Last 2 games, John Freeze from Idaho leads him to 7 touchdowns. And the Chargers, all of a sudden, a scoring machine. When we return, big day for the Ring of Honor in Dallas and the honor of the NFC East. Would it be Cowboys or G-Men?
Things are worth it. The success of any organization of human beings really depends upon how well they can work together. So we try to hire good attitudes. I think the easiest way to lose success is to become convinced that you are successful. I think American Express has a distinctive market. I've really been very appreciative of not just the card itself, but the service behind the card.
American Express is welcomed on airlines all around the world. Herb is kind of partial to his corner of the world.
On the next Prime Monday, we'll talk about the Chiefs and how they deal with Joe's nagging injuries. Also backstage with Reggie White, and a look at why the Pack is back.
In Big D's, finally, at long last, Tom Landry inducted into the Cowboys Ring of Honor, introduced by the owner, Jerry Jones, who was the man that fired Landry. And all the guys are back. Lily and Meredith and Don Perkins and Chuck Howley and Mel Renfro and Roger Staubach and Leroy Jordan. And there it is. And look at that. Isn't that great? The hat instead of the helmet for Tom Landry. And the silhouette today was the same as it always was. The man in the hat, who it's interesting that it's on the same day that Don Shula was trying to go for win 325. Landry, oh, by the way, is 3rd on the all-time list with 270 wins. It's also fitting that on Landry Day in Dallas, it was against the Giants, where he was defensive coordinator in the late 50s before he was elevated to head coach of the Cowboys in 1960. Also fitting that with the Giants in town, Dan Reeves was in town. All he did was play and coach under Tom Landry. So a lot of symmetry in today's game. Oh, by the way, it's also a game between the 2 teams at 5-2, tied atop the NFC East. The Giants at the Cowboys. And Troy Aikman, is he on fire or what? He hits Michael Irvin, blinded by the light, for 17 yards. 2 plays later, the slant Oh, they run that slant to Alvin Harper so well, that's 12 yards. Next play, back to Harper, the deep slant, cutting from the right side, touchdown, 2 possessions, a field goal and a touch. 10-0 Dallas. Aikman 8 for his first 8. Then Phil Simms, he tried to get it going for the G-men. To Mark Jackson, makes a pretty catch, gets both feet in for the touchdown, but holding on Bob Cratch, and the Giants and Simms have to settle for a field goal. It's 10-3. Ensuing kickoff, Kevin Williams. Everybody on this team runs. Watch him move up the near sidelines, and only the kicker, Brad Dom DeLuiso, knocks him down after a 49-yard return. Then Aikman, Tommy, look at him here.
Yeah, the nice fake there to pull the safety away, get the single coverage on the corner, and Harper with a nice stride to the end zone.
Another touch to Harper, 50 yards, 17-3 Dallas. Aikman in the first 9 passes, he was 9 for 9, a pair of touches. Simms to Chris Callaway. Chris Callaway. Howdy. Slow. Not quite fast enough to get into the end zone, Tommy.
Yeah, you watch Callaway here. He has a clear path to the end zone, but he anticipates the fact that he's going to be cut. As a coach, you'd much prefer him go down the field, get the extra 5 yards for me.
And the Giants tried to do the old flea flicker, but they kind of fumbled his toss back from Tillman to Simms. He recovered it, and Dan Reeves, the club, managed a field goal, 17-6. Dallas at the half. Third quarter, oh yeah, Emmitt Smith, yeah, he's in the game. Yeah, have you noticed that Dallas has kind of been winning with him back? Yeah, I think you have. He breaks a tackle for 19 yards. Then Aikman can't find a receiver, and watch what happens. Flush out of the pocket. Nobody hits him, but he pulls the left hamstring. He strains it, Tom, and you can see it was not because of contact.
Yeah, many times you don't have to get hit to pull a hamstring. Just watch Troy Aikman's face. You can see the moment that it goes right there.
And so that means his replacement, Jason Garrett from
Princeton,
and Ivy League, playing for the Cowboys. You remember Calvin Hill from Yale excelled for the Cowboys? Well, Jimmy Johnson as an Ivy Leaguer another generation later. And how smart are they? Well, they give it to Emmitt Smith. That's pretty smart. And he rumbles, breaks into the secondary, 25 yards. Emmitt, up the middle, just runs, as Tommy described in game day, north-south. Emmitt from the 1 also gets low. Touchdown, 24-6, Dallas. First play of the next possession, and watch this. Alvin Harper, he's a port-sider. Harper to Irvin for 47 yards. 2 plays later, Emmitt butts off of Michael Brooks and into the end zone, 31-6. The Emmitt zone means 6-0 for Dallas this year. A basic 160-yard day for Emmitt. And when it was all over, the Cowboys have defeated the Giants handily, 31-9. The Cowboys in first place by their lonesome in the NFC East, but concerned about Troy Aikman. Afterwards, he talked about the hamstring injury.
It's the first time I've ever pulled any type of muscle. You know, the doctors don't seem to think that I tore anything, which is a good sign. You know, this next week has not been ruled out. I, as always, will be optimistic, and that I'll be able to play next week, but it'll require a lot of rehab.
You got 30 seconds to get in there and run the plays, and I think that helps when you kind of take emotions out of things and just are real matter of fact and are concerned about your reads and what you're doing that way. I think it contributes to kind of a more positive and a more comfortable you know, mindset and a feeling for you.
Well, it's comfortable certainly having the players around him that Jason Garrett has. Even when Aikman went out, they're at home against Phoenix next week. They won't know for a day or two exactly how bad the hamstring is. It's possible he could sit. In a long situation, I think it's Hugh Millen. In a game or two situation, I think it's Jason Garrett. I think that's what Jimmy Johnson is thinking right now. Of course, he'd like to get Aikman, but Tommy, everybody on this team, what are they, young? They don't know any better? They play hard. They play well every game.
Well, I think we talk so much about that Troy Aikman-led offense and all the weapons that he has, but let's concentrate on defense today. I think that as you watch this unit, at every position, as a unit, they are as fast as any team that has ever played defense. And what that means is that your odds of being a good tackling team increase the more people you get around the football. And nobody gets more people around the football than the Dallas Cowboys.
And, you know, they squandered those first 2 games. They're 0-2 after Week 10. Nobody has a better record than them in the whole NFC. And, of course, they're in first place in the conference. Good news, by the way, for the Giants, Mark Collins. He was carried off, but is on the plane home with the Giants. Strained lower back. X-rays, first X-rays are negative. He has feeling everywhere. The Lamore test tomorrow. That's good. Inside the numbers we go for the Giants, who were rolling, but all of a sudden against the Jets, they get 6 points. Against the Dallas Cowboys, they get 9 points. And so in their losses, also their defense rushing, in the 5 wins, they were great. When they lose, they get rushed on. This is what happened. When we return, Raiders-Bears. It looked like a ho-hummer for the Raiders. The Bears had other ideas. We'll show you a wild finish in a moment.
Doing some undercover work, dreaming about a business trip. I had a big meeting set up with the boss. Before I knew it, my plans were shot to smithereens. I needed a new set of wheels, and fast. Lucky for me, Dollar was Johnny on the spot. There they were, right on the airport with low rates. It's no wonder every Tom, Dick, and Harry is renting from Dollar these days. I made it in time to meet the boss. She was glad Dollar is right on the airport. Right on the money, too.
From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, we fight our country's battles in the air, on land, and sea. On November 10th, the United States Marine Corps celebrates the birth date of its proud and distinguished history. History that will be remembered for that elite corps of men and women who made it. The few, the proud, the Marines.
One of these engines was filled with Castrol Syntec, a synthetic oil, the rest with conventional oils. They were then drained and started without oil to prove a point. You see, Syntec has a unique molecular structure that bonds to engine parts. Lab tests show it leaves a layer of protection far stronger than conventional oils. And if Syntec protects this well now, imagine if you leave it in. Castrol Syntec protects in ways other oils can't.
The passion isn't only on the field. Players aren't the only ones who feel it. I can feel the passion from the fans in the last row. I know when they fear defeat. I know when they sense victory. If you live it, if you love it, get real.
Logo Athletic, authentic team apparel. Forget at the top of the hour, the Colts with Jeff George warming up to take on the Skins at RFK Live on ESPN Sunday Night Football. Wow, the voice is rolling. What the heck, it's exciting at this time of year. Rob, the hadn't really been that exciting lately for either the Eagles after a good start or the Cards. Poor Joe Bugle knows he's got to have a great second half or else.
Yeah, his job is definitely on the line, no doubt about that, and no doubt about it, the Eagles and the Cards both desperately needed a victory today. As Boomer said, after opening with 4 straight victories, the Eagles had dropped their next 3, but they had never lost a game at Sun Devil Stadium. Keep that in mind. Chris Chandler making his first start this year, and maybe just a little over-anxious here. The blitz by the Philadelphia defense and forces Chandler to throw too hard and incomplete to Larry Sinners, TJ.
Yeah, as you watch here, Chandler feels the heat from William Thomas and Mike Flores from Louisville. Pass was thrown a little bit too hard.
Again, Chandler too hard, too long, everything to Gary Clark, almost intercepted by Mark McMillan. Phoenix in the third and goal on 3-0 Eagles. Chandler to Sinners and almost intercepted again, and he could have gone all the way. Phoenix settles for a field goal to 3 all tied. Joe Bugle knows he needs a victory. In the second quarter, 6-3 Cards, 2nd and 9. Chris Chandler finds Gary Clark. His first touchdown as a Cardinal, 13-3. Cards in the lead at that point. 3 seconds left in the first half, 16-3 Cards. Ken O'Brien, it's his turn to go long. Everyone leaps. And Victor Bailey comes up with what appears to be a touchdown, but officials say incomplete. What do you say, TJ?
Well, it looks like Bailey has the ball, and it should have been a TD. Right here, ball gets tipped back into the field of play. Right there, questionable call.
16-3 at the half, though. There was a bright spot for the Eagles, maybe. Linebacker Britt Hager, his first start. He goes untouched and makes Chandler throw early and overthrow Derek Ware. And Hager again bounces off the block by Butch Roll and makes the stop on Ron Moore. Hager coming up big for the Eagles. For the Eagles, the 3rd straight game, they've allowed over 200 yards rushing. Good day, though, for Larry Sinners, replacing Garrison Hurst. He hands off to Larry Sinners, Chandler does, and he scampers up the sideline before being driven out. 33 yards, his longest career run. And come on, guy, pay attention. I said Larry Sinners, a great day. Complete to Sinners. He breaks tackles, tripped by Andre Waters and brought down by, yes, Britt Hager. There you see Larry Sinners' numbers. The Eagles, yeah, they're really bumming. 16-3 is the final. Rookie Ron Moore, 36 carries, 160 yards. Ken O'Brien, 14 of 32, 166 yards. He was intercepted once and sacked 3 times. So let's check out the Bucks and the Lions. Barry Sanders normally comes up big against Tampa Bay. Talk about big. Take a look at this fella. Opening possession, they go to Barry Sanders, the man. First, he goes up the right side for 22 yards before being knocked out of bounds. Then he tries the left side, picks up 14 more, and his fumble, fortunately for the Lions, goes out of bounds. And later in the drive, Barry, left side again, appears to score, but okay, TJ, do it again. Officials say otherwise.
Another look at the play right here. Barry Sanders, he has a great balance right there. He stepped on the line.
And they would have to settle for a field goal and a 3-0 lead. With Reggie Cobb out, the Bucks turn to Craig Erickson, and he simply struggled. He overthrows his tight end, Ron Hall. Then Erickson has his ball deflected. Falls incomplete. Erickson looks to Gary Anderson out of the backfield. That doesn't work either. And finally, Erickson tries to go deep to Horace Copeland. Almost incomplete. Sam Weiss fuming. 61 yards of total offense in the first half. Second half, Lions go up top. Rodney Peete hooks up with Willie Green for 27 yards. Get used to this. Peete hits Green. Gain of 8. Peete, you got it, to Green for 15 yards. And later Peete calls his own number this time, goes in from 9 yards out, put the Lions up 13-0. And his dad, Willie, the Bucks running back coach, watched with mixed emotions.
Yeah, another look here shows that the Bucks defensive lineman, Eric Curry, shifts just before the snap, and that created the huge hole, and then the athleticism of Rodney Peete right there at the goal line.
And the Lions D helped secure it right in the hands of Pat Swilling. Lions D records his first shutout since September 4th, 1983 against, you got it, the Bucks. Wayne Fonts likes the fact his team is 7-2, the Lions' best start since '62. Barry Sanders wasn't even born. 187 yards on 29 carries, his best rushing day in the Silverdome. Sanders not happy with his contract, as you know, and his agent said he wouldn't be surprised if Sanders walks out during the Lions' upcoming bye week. Against 9 games against the Bucks and over his career, Sanders 1,022 yards and 10 touchdowns. I told you he came up big. Also, Boomer, an incident after the game involving Michelle Kaufman, the writer for the Detroit Free Press. She was interviewing Hardy Nickerson after the game in the Bucks locker room. She backed into the area of Jimmy Williams, and he shoved Michelle Kaufman in the back, said she did not belong there. She took it to mean that was because she was a woman. He later apologized to her, but the Bucks are definitely looking into this incident.
Yeah, unfortunate for sure, Rob. Well, football, shall we say, at Soldier Field? I think so. Very simply, Raiders, Bears. Soldier Field, wind, cold, dark. A John Facenda special. There's no other way to describe it. Art Shell and the silver and black. Trying to stop Neil Anderson, they do it. Then Anderson nailed by Winston Moss. More Raider defense.
Yeah, here, great quickness by Greg Townsend as he gets to Harbaugh and makes a sack.
Second quarter, the Raiders have kicked a field goal by Jeff McJager. They lead it 3-0. Harbaugh picked off by number 33, Eddie Anderson. And he goes down the near sideline, thinks he can go all the way, but he doesn't. But he's knocked out at the 1, Tommy. And then Harbaugh on the play adds insult to injury.
Yeah, a little insult to injury. He gets knocked down by his own man, and he doesn't need to take any extra licks from the Chicago Bears.
Not iron or hard. Raiders turn to the lieutenant, Napoleon McCallum. They first had him, he's an ensign. Now he's a lieutenant. It was a great trade for him. And McCallum punches it over 10-0 against Wannstedt Bears. Just 47 yards offense in the first half for Chicago. At 13-0 Raiders, Harbaugh hits Tom Waddle, and look at him go. He breaks a tackle, and Waddle, the dependable one, goes for 37 yards. That sets up with Ironhead blocking. No one even wanted to get in his way. Anderson in the end zone, it's 13-7. Fourth quarter, 16-7 Raiders. They're in good shape. The Bears try and pull in a touch. Kevin Butler from 20. Oh, no. Kevin, no good. So it stays 16-7. But the Bears remained undaunted. Bears driving. Harbaugh to Terry Obie. He's IB inbounds. 16-14. That right, that's late by 2. It's an onside kick. Rumbling, bumbling. Oh, it's loose. Who's got it? The Bears. Oh, they recover the onside kick. Art Shell. You've got to be kidding. First play. Harbaugh. Quarterback draw. This he can do. He can run. Look at him move. 25 yards. The Raiders, who blew a game against Cleveland, are seeing the same. They set it down. Get it in the middle of the field. It'll be perfect. A 30-yard field goal. Come on, Kevin. That's right. Spike the ball. 1 second. So, the ball's down. The kick is up. It's on the way. It's Oh, no! Wide to the left. The Butler did not do it. And the Raiders escape Soldier Field by the hair on their chinny chin. The Raiders over the Bears, 16-14. So the Raiders winning in the AFC West up to 5-3. The Bears, a game comeback, fall short at 3-5. As we go inside the number, it gets late. And so therefore, we keep the ball on the ground. In a lot of games, we get a lot of 100-yard rushes. Robin showed you Barry Sanders almost had 200 yards, had a $187. Ron Moore for the Cards, a $160. Barry Bananas Foster, a $120 for the